Today I'm going to explain a Chilean drama film called Jailbreak. The movie is based on a real event that happened around the 1990s in Chile during the last years of the military regime. Many protesters are imprisoned in a penitentiary in Santiago. The police treat them as terrorists and manhandle them to the cells. The general in command Andrade is a cruel man who wants to teach the prisoners a lesson. Inspector Braulio gathers them to give them an introduction to the life they are going to live. From now on, since their imprisonment falls under anti-terrorist law, they will be monitored 24 hours and 7 days, and found spreading any kind of propaganda they will be sentenced to death. A group of 5 protesters led by Leon is also among the prisoners. They have come to the prison with the intention of escaping. Today's the day they choose themselves and the day they initiate their plan. Leon quickly runs to the second floor to take cell number 50 according to their plan. It directly connects to the cell below, which will be the opening of the tunnel. However, he sees that cell 50 is already taken, has to settle for 51. The room will be at an angle, this way, but the group has other things to worry about at the moment. The prisoners settle into their new lives, some taking up hobbies like carpeting, cooking, singing, and so on. During an hour-long break time, Leon, Rafael, and your men discuss the plan. Leon is an architect and the mastermind of the mission. He knows that some meters away from the wall is the Mapochoa River surrounded by palm trees. The distance of the tunnel can be calculated in terms of their steps, with every 2 steps counting up to 5 feet. This means the tunnel should be around 70 m long. They will have to remove around 60 tons of soil to dig a tunnel of such a length, but the question remains, where can they put all that soil without the guards noticing? As the trio discusses the plan, a fellow prisoner, Paulo, watches them later. He approaches Rafael and asks to be involved in whatever they're trying to do. The trio trusts him and includes him in the group. In the following scene, they are in the ground floor cell, which is supposed to be the opening of the tunnel. They have to make a hole in the wall and create a block out of the residue. That way they can hide the hole using the block when they aren't working. Then Leon looks for a place to hide the tons of soil. A guitarist gets a hint of this and offers him a screwdriver. He is also included in the plan. After that, using the tool, Leon tries making a square hole in the ceiling. In the next few days they have to keep the banging as low as possible. Even though the guitarist is outside singing songs to cut the noise, with the last hit 2 blocks of cement fall from the ceiling and make a mess. Leon quickly asks the others to bring eggs and lime to make a mixture that will look like a block and close the hole. The team divides the task and gets to work. But just then the guitarist sings a specific song indicating that the guards are doing a surprise check. Leon checks the hole and is satisfied to see that the loft area is enough to hold any amount of soil. After that he makes the block just in time and covers it with the poster of a woman. When the guards check the room, they do not think much of the posters. One guard tries taking it off, but stops because the girl is wearing too many clothes in his opinion. It has now been 34 days since the prisoners got to the prison. It is also a visitor's day where their relatives got to come and meet them for some time. Rafael gets to spend time with his wife, but they get into an argument because she didn't bring the kids following the meeting. The group continues making a better block that will be suspicious even if the guards get a view of it. They do this by filling a hollow box of wood with cement. When the block is ready, they start hammering the wall that is supposed to be the opening of the tunnel. The cell is filled with residue cement when they are informed of the inspector's arrival. They quickly clean up the mess and pretend to be working. Fortunately for them, the guard doesn't look around before walking away to ensure safety. Leon blasts a radio and continues hammering the wall. After it is big enough, they fit the block inside and make it look seamless. The remainder of the soil residue is packed in a bag and taken to cell number 51 there. Leon puts it on the loft over the ceiling, hiding it where the guards would never think to look. This goes on for the next few days. The guitarist always waits outside the cell to keep an eye on who comes and goes. The other 4 take turns digging the tunnel. The soil residue is put into different bags on different days to be taken to the upper floor and dumped on the loft. Then the cement blocks are used to close both the holes and keep them hidden. The group maintains enough social presence so they don't seem suspicious. Still, a smart prisoner named Oscar sees that they follow the same routine every day in a way that seems unnatural to him. On day 77, Leon measures the length of the tunnel. They have dug until now. He is disappointed to see that it is not enough at all. At this rate they will take years to complete the task, which means more opportunities for the guards to catch them. Leon registers that they are lacking manpower. Later that day, your man is doing the daily chore of bringing soil to the upper floor, but this time he is stopped by a guard and asked to show what is in the bag. He nervously does so with the soil is in the lower compartment covered by his personal belongings. The guard asked him to come to the office and your man puts the bag away before following the orders. Upon reaching the office, the guard offers him news magazines for money. German sighs with relief and is glad that the meeting wasn't about something else. In the following scene, the trio continues to dig the tunnel while listening to the news on the radio. They find out that the people of Chile have completely overthrown the dictator and have welcomed to democracy into the country. It is bad news for them because they do not believe in democracy. The news only makes them want to work harder so they can go outside quickly and turn everything around before their leader gives up on day 86. Leon gathers up the prisoners who are waiting for the death penalty. He shows them the progress they've made on the tunnel before telling them every detail of the plan. The group instantly decides to help them and is added to the team. Working at night is not feasible because of the noise. So they start working 2-hour shifts per person during the day. They take the smallest measures to ensure they aren't caught. For instance, washing the dirt off their hands and bodies after every shift. Some of them are always outside the cells, keeping an eye out for the guards and anyone who might suspect them. They also create another hole between the ground floor and the first floor so they won't have to transfer the dirt by stairs, which is much riskier. Eventually the rate of progress accelerates, and the end seems near. Throughout everything the group continues socializing with the other prisoners. They play during break times and watch TV. As usual, to ensure no one suspects them in one of the football matches, Oscar tells Rafael that he knows what they are up to. He also wants to be a part of the team, but rumor has it that he is in prison after snitching on his own people. Still, Leon decides to give them a chance and includes him in the mission. You know what they say, snitches dig ditches. In the next scene, your man tells Rafael that even if they make the perfect tunnel without help from the outside, they will never be able to escape. Some of their fellow protesters from the party are still outside. If the prisoners are able to send them a message, they will surely come to help. On day 182, Rafael's wife comes to see him for Visitors' Day. He tells her about their plan and asks her to inform the party about it. The woman thinks about it for a long time, even after the meeting. Then comes day 205. All of a sudden the entire police force comes for a surprise check. Leon quickly alerts everyone, but it will take more than 10 minutes to clean up the mess and bring the guitarist out while some people helped him. The others go outside to stop the police. Rafael insults them and starts a fight between the two parties. This gives the guitarist enough time to come out and seal the opening. When he opens the door, the police have already defeated the prisoners and taken them to the ground. Commander Andrade makes them stay under the sun with no clothes. Getting a naked 10 is hardly punishment somewhere else. Rafael's wife goes to the party's headquarters, but she is asked to forget about the party helping them because they have enough problems on their plate. However, she doesn't give up and thinks of a better plan. She goes to a church to meet Leon's father, your man's wife, and Rafael's old associate. They all agree to help the guys from outside with whatever they need. The scene cuts to day 392. A man is working inside the tunnel when he passes out. Fortunately for him, his friend immediately drags him outside. By now the tunnel runs deep and there is a scarcity of oxygen inside. To solve the problem, they include the carpenter in the team. He creates a tube and a fan-like structure that can supply air to the deepest corners of the tunnel. Then we are introduced to a sly man named Bigote. He is called by the commander and is given a packet of cigarettes. In exchange, the commander wants to know what every single prisoner is up to. Later that day, Rafael finds out the tunnel has crossed the prison's border. He creates a hole in the ground and pushes a pink liquid outside. It is spotted by Rafael's associate who is helping him escape. On the next Visitors' Day, Leon's father comes to him and reveals that the liquid is still 40 m away from the place they want the tunnel to end. On day 558, the city is hit by an earthquake. Leon, who is outside, immediately rushes in to save the person inside the tunnel. Luckily no one is injured and the tunnel isn't blocked either. Leon has grown a friendship with a wheelchair-bound prisoner over the months. He tells the man about the escape plan and asked him to join. The guy refuses because he is already given up on life and knows that he cannot crawl through the tunnel. Then finally comes the day they execute the last stage of the months-long plan. Everyone is in the TV room for weekly nighttime entertainment when one after another the people start to leave. No one suspects anything because the show is not interesting. Leon is outside the opening of the tunnel checking if all the prisoners have come. There are 50 of them in total, which means they have to trust each other on who gets to go after who. Meanwhile, Bigote notices the absence of the prisoners and goes out to check on them. The wheelchair guy tries to stop him, but it's stopped when Bigote reaches the cell. Everyone has entered the tunnel except for Oscar. Bigote wants to tell the police, but Oscar restrains him. He is stabbed with a screwdriver, but even after that he knocks Bigote out. But then the injury prevents him from getting inside the tunnel after the others. You know what they say, snitches get stabbed with screwdrivers. The remaining 49 men are lined up inside the tunnel waiting for the people from outside to open the other end. Raphael's friend does so and they come outside one after another. Raphael's wife has already prepared a change of clothes for all of them. After changing they hide by the river until a bus arrives to pick them up. They immediately board the bus, but your man is worried about Oscar. He asks them to wait for a while and goes to fetch him. What a dumb idea. Back in the prison, the rest of the criminals find out about the tunnel and enter at the police. Reinforcements arrive and gather the remaining prisoners in the bus. The siren is heard, so they decide to drive away without your man and Oscar. Seconds later, Germain arrives and says that Oscar never came out of the tunnel because they cannot return to check on him. They simply drive away, and while some other prisoners are able to escape but most of them are dragged out of the tunnel, we see Oscar crying in jail and cursing his fate. The commander gets the news and loses his mind. On the bus all the escapees are given money and fake IDs. Following that they are dropped in different parts of another city in groups of 3. In the end Leon wishes Raphael goodbye and walks away to start a new chapter of his life. This is how 49 prisoners escaped a heavily guarded prison after 18 months of digging in 1990. Subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.